Hello and welcome to Seagulls Social Season 3, Episode Wembley, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
because we're going to Wembley.
Love it.
Unbelievable scenes at the Amex, ladies and gents. 5-0 win over Grimsby. But before we get into everything, we're joined by the boys, Maz and Ben. How are we doing? I was going to say ladies and gents, but that makes no sense. How are we doing, boys?
Yeah, good. Yeah, very good, mate. We are flying as a club, as a fan base, as everything. We are going very well, and I'm very happy.
Yeah,
and Ben,
good.
How are you, mate?
Very good. It was a good weekend, obviously, with the result. And also, a bit of a surprise. I didn't realise it was going to happen when I met my brother and some friends. My brother got my mum a Mother's Day present from this company that makes bags. Well, they do loads of printing and stuff like that. But my brother got my mum a bag with a picture of our family on it. Anyway, so my brother then gives me this.
Kind of scared of what's going to come out of this bag.
I know. So it says, "Hi Ben, after doing a bag for Sam," which the first line may be confused. "After doing a bag for Sam, Mother's Day gift, I recognise you from Seagulls Social. So here's a little gift for you from me at Techno Chimps. If you can drop us a follow at Techno Chimps on Instagram, would be great. And keep up the good work."
Ben with a sly promo there.
Never, well, this is why I said it. Because so like
this actually isn't
his t-shirt.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that is very nice.
Look at that, the merch. Oi, come on.
And the reason why I've said it is because I'm pretty sure he told my brother, he said, if he gives it a shout out, he will do a U2 one as well.
Oi. What I was going to say to you, but how did he recognise? I'm confused. How did he see you? I'm very confused.
So Sam got mum a bag, and on the bag is a picture of all my family.
Oh, that's cool.
So just coincidence. Okay. That's mad.
Yeah, no. And then on the way to go get this as well. Well, this was a surprise anyway. Got recognised as well on the way to the train station. That was just sick. The Seagulls Social is huge, ladies and gentlemen.
We're massive. That's what it is.
We are massive. T-shirts will be arriving in the post soon, hopefully.
Yeah. Nice.
Danny's plug.
It wasn't even a hashtag ad, as I said, so we can't even get struck by YouTube for this. So
I know you guys need some new T-shirts and new garms.
But yeah, boys, we are in Wembley. But before we get into everything that's happened, I mean, it's safe to say that Grimsby were awful. But before the game, there was a lot of Brighton fans, and I want to get your thoughts on this, guys, because obviously I wasn't on the last episode, so I didn't really get to preview Grimsby before anyway. But before the game, there was a lot of Brighton fans almost, I think they would have been a little bit disappointed the fact we won that game, to be honest. They're borderline Grimsby fans beforehand. I mean, there was a lot of people practically wishing them so much luck that it was the case of, I wouldn't even mind if you beat us, is what I saw somebody say. Look, I ain't here to be putting any pointers out there at all, but all I'm going to say is, come on now. Really? I mean, I just want to hear your thoughts, really. I'll start with you, Ben, because I can tell you're trying not to giggle here.
No, it is funny because I did see it as well, and even post-match, just some people have actually gone the other way now and have rinsed them for all their antics that we'll probably talk about what the fans are doing. But I think people were probably trying to save face. Maybe people were worried that we were going to bottle it and thought, and we're just trying to preempt that and go, well, I said this before. I said I'll be happy that they go through, so I'm happy they go through. They might have been doing that, and in the back of their minds, they really couldn't have given a shit. But yeah, it was strange. Maybe the fans were showing them some nice respect, but yeah. It did go a bit too far at some points.
I am so happy you've asked this, Ryan, because I really wanted to talk about this. Yeah. So, from my perspective, so listen, the cards, that when we gave out the cards, wasn't it? Or we basically allowed them to do their little display thing. Gave them utensils
missiles
to make a little presentation, whatever it was. Listen, that I don't care. Like at the end of the day, it's not that deep, right? But what I will say is, I feel like we're too nice at times. We're too nice, and as a club in general, I feel like when a away team comes there, you're not meant to cater them. You're not there to make them feel good. You're not there to make them, happy. You're there to, win the game, right? It's a big game, quarterfinal. To get into Wembley, it doesn't matter if it's Grimsby or fucking Man City. It doesn't really matter. I just think we're too nice at times, and that's what grinds me. I wasn't annoyed about the giving them the cards or whatever. It just feels too nice, and I feel like sometimes we're let down by being too nice, even in performances. So that was my biggest gripe. It's just,
do you know why we do that though? It's because Paul Barber loves the best away best away trip award. We've won it a couple of times, I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
You know, we have local beers,
a
local ales for the
frustrating one
clubs,
to win.
whatever clubs go. Whenever, let's say if we played Barnsley in the Championship, the away end would be red inside. They'd have red lights and all that sort of stuff.
I've noticed that.
They've got posters and things like that. They are very, very accommodating, which I do find strange, because if anything, you want to make the fans less accommodated as possible. You want to make them not want to chant and feel.
Well, this is the thing. Exactly. So this is the thing, right? It's like all the away fans you speak to, they're like, "Oh, no, it's not intimidating, Brighton. It's a lovely day, away day." You don't want to hear that from an away fan.
No.
Like, fair enough, at home, cool. Yeah, make sure the home end is beautiful. There's the best beers, the best, entertainment. Make sure it's amazing at home. Of course, you want to make sure the home fans are happy. But I just find it a bit odd. Not necessarily the card thing or whatever, like the gesture. It was just more. I'm talking as a whole. I feel like we're just a bit too nice, and I wish we had a bit more ruthlessness and a bit.
I think we are getting more ruthless as a club, but we're more ruthless than we were for sure.
Yeah, I think I agree for a start, and also secondly, I think De Zerbi doesn't go with it. I mean, that team he put out. I mean, if there's any room for niceness amongst perhaps the higher ups and fan base, there certainly isn't with Roberto. I mean, that team was ready to take him apart at any given moment. To be fair, and pretty much from the get go, it was me and my dad said it to each other so many times. We're like, yeah, they ain't scoring. I was like, this is going to be the most relaxing game of football I've ever watched. So at no point was it even a concern. We are way better than them. We're going to prove it, and we did, and it was as simple as that. I know Pep was
very calm.
I'll be honest. I didn't actually have any fears going into it. I know that it sounds really like,
agreed.
Everyone was being like, "Oh, be humble, make sure you're not taking them, obviously, I thought they'd give us. I thought they'd be competitive, but I never thought in my mind that we were going to lose. It was just I thought they might give us a good game, might be tight, maybe 2-1, 1-0, that kind of thing. But we absolutely blew them away. And to be honest with you, I can't remember one chance they had. Apart from Bobby Sanchez save in the second half. Sanchez save. That's literally all they did.
Good save as well.
Yeah, and actually, how the hell tried his best to score an own goal as well. That was.
Shocker. How the hell did Southampton lose to him? I'm not sure. Again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but the fact that
be disrespectful to Southampton. Who cares? They're going.
No, Southampton. Yeah, it's fair, but probably to Grimsby. But how the hell did Southampton get knocked out by them?
Just quickly, sorry, just before you boys go on, if you're watching this video right now on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button. It's really important. We don't hate being those guys like, oh my god, hit the like button.
Smash that like button, dudes.
Yeah. Ryan does a really good impression. But please, we're not trying to be those guys, but it does genuinely help a lot with our reach and basically getting the video to other people. But sorry, go on, Ryan.
Sort us out, for God's sake, guys. What are you doing? Anyway, I do agree wholeheartedly. I think it was when I looked at the social media feed before the game, I was trying my best to stay out of it. I saw a lot of people get probably a bit too heated over it. Again, I'm not going to go through any, but I think there was quite a bit on there that I was a bit like, okay, I'm not that hot on either side, but yes, I agree that the away fans should be in a different place. We've said this so many times. We shouldn't give them a whole stand. We are too accommodating. They should be in a corner. If you go to Leeds, for example, away from home, the last thing you want to be is there. To be honest, you're there to watch a footy and you want to get home. You're not really in a nice environment, and it works because when you play Leeds away from home, it's a hard game and everyone knows that. It's the same, but at Brighton, it just doesn't seem to happen. I mean, when Palace come, it's a bit different. It's just a shambles, but that's a different story. But that's a whole other ball game. But anyway, we'll get into the game a little bit because, as I say, it was a bit of a whitewash. And I think that first half, it was a professional performance, right? It was everything that a good team does. They just passed the ball around. And I think at any moment, if we really wanted to, we could have scored maybe 3 or 4 in that first half. But I think we almost laid off them a little bit. But what I do want to ask, actually, we'll mention Dennis Undav. Who did get his first Amex goal, and he actually got an assist as well. So shout out to Dennis because it was a decent performance. I think he had a couple of chances, particularly that one in the second half, which we don't have to mention, but he was okay. I thought, Maz, what do you reckon?
Yeah, no, and also talking of passes, just quickly before we get into Undav, I thought Webster, shout out to Webster, 2 of his passes, I remember, one to Gross and one to Ferguson. The one to Ferguson sort of had a heavy touch and couldn't score, but those 2 split defense, literally defense splitting passes from Webster, I just thought, highly impressive. His range of passing was really good,
and
albeit Grimsby. Well. Yeah, and he got an assist as well, albeit Grimsby. But anyway, going back to Undav, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought he'd done all right, like you said. He didn't blow me away. And again, you've got to take into consideration the opposition as well. I know that's not very fair to say, but it was a League Two. Was it League Two? Yeah, League Two opposition. Yeah. I'm not saying he's found his level by any stretch, but it was encouraging though. I think that'll really do him a world of good. Like all joking aside, I think it'll do him a world of good. Just getting that assist. Getting a goal. And do you know what? Fair play to him. He was the first person to the ball. When the keeper parried it, he was the first one there. And that, no matter who you're playing, is always a good sign, right? Like for a striker to be the first on the scene and tucking it away. And it was a good finish as well. So, all joking aside, I thought I was really happy for him, and hopefully he can kick on from here and just take it.
I was happy for him, mate. I was just shouting Dennis when he scored in the West Upper. No way he ever heard me, but I hope he did. No, I'm joking. But it was quite funny because I really wanted him to just at least get one there because it's a bit of a free for all, isn't it? When you play against a lower league team and you start your centre forwards that perhaps don't fire in the league, you like to think they could score a bit FIFA career mode style. But I don't know what you think, Ben, of Undav and what you made of him.
He's now scored against a League Two team, a League One team, and a Championship team. He hasn't scored against a Prem team yet, has he? No,
he scored against Villa in a friendly.
That's true. In Dubai, but he's ticking him off. We just need a Premier League team now. That'll be great. I was going to make the joke that he's found his level, but Maz took that from me. But no, actually, I think he was okay. He was okay. Obviously, it was against Grimsby. I feel like maybe he was good because he was playing off of Ferguson. I think he looked good as a two. A bit like when Neil Maupay played that like one game with Glenn Murray. We saw a different side to him that we quite liked away at Southampton.
Yeah.
I saw similarities like that, a little pair up front. So it's a good option to have that if them two players are two going into the Premier League as well. Maybe on his own, not strong enough yet for the Premier League, but it was nice to finally see him get his goal. And we saw what it meant to him when he scored against Middlesbrough. So he's obviously trying a lot and cares a lot. So
you could tell by the way the players sort of went around him. When he scored again, it was quite I think it's quite emotional. Obviously, when you're a centre forward, you're not scoring. You're out of the team. It's
like
hard.
Weghorst scoring as well, isn't it?
Literally,
when Weghorst scored for Man United, his arms were going. He's literally forgotten how to celebrate. His arms going everywhere.
It gives me Ali Reza vibes.
Yeah, it is a bit
he really tries, and he actually does give his all for the team, which that's all you can ask for, really. Like from any pro, you want them to give their all, and
it's literally like when Vicstar scores for the Sidemen. It's kind of like that.
Oh my god!
That's a violation.
We'll flip it to the other side. We want to talk about Evan Ferguson as well, because an 18-year-old, absolutely fantastic, technically excellent, still can't see a particular flaw in this man's game. And we said it when he first played, and I'm still saying it. 10 goals and assists later, he's been fantastic. He really has. He's, as I mentioned, and as everyone mentions, he's 18. For God's sake, he's 18, and he's scoring goals like that. That first one particularly, that first touch was absolutely unbelievable.
Bergkamp-esque. Literally like Bergkamp.
Yeah. Dennis Bergkamp, Dimitar Berbatov, whatever you want to name. It was that sort of standard goal. Erling Haaland, postage, and it was fantastic goal. And I'm so happy for him as well, because he seems to just keep taking it in his stride. It doesn't go up and like an 18-year-old. If you score a goal for a decent sized club like us these days, you're gonna go mad.
Go to shoot.
But he just chills, and he seems to just take it, and that's it. He wants another one, and he gets another one, and then he's still running back to get a hat trick, and unfortunately did get taken off. But Maz, what's your taking of Evan so far? Because he does a lot more than just the goals as well. He's great all over.
100%. Yeah, I love his tenacity. I love his running. I love his aggressiveness. I love his. Do you know what I was really impressed about as well? And we've mentioned this before on the pod, but I just love the way he holds himself and the way he speaks, especially in post-match interviews. He just shows that level of maturity, and I think that, without naming names, but there's been previous strikers who burst onto the scene and have lost their heads, whether it be on the pitch or off the pitch. And it seems like, and I don't want to jinx it, but it seems like both on the pitch and off the pitch, he's got a different mentality. He's got that. He's got it. He is him. And I just feel like I just love his attitude to the game. He clearly wants to learn. He clearly wants to be better. Every game he's improving. I think, it was a quote after the game on against Grimsby, I think they asked him, like, what do you think of your form, etc. And he's like, I just want to get better. I just want to keep improving. I just want to keep getting better. And I think that just speaks volumes in a young, like you said, an 18-year-old. And yeah, he's I feel like defenders are scared of him as well because he's such a big figure. He
quick, looks like Haaland,
he's strong.
The way he runs.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, like he's quick, he's strong, he can finish. His finishing is unbelievable. Even Undav, did you see when he was celebrating before he even shot?
Yeah,
like, that just shows how. But do you know how mad that is? That your teammates are so confident in your ability that they know
you're a teenager.
And you're a teenager, and they're so confident. He's like, yep, he's going to score. Like, he's got his hands up, ready to go. Like, I think everything about him just oozes quality and class, and I think he will become a Ballon d'Or winner. I'm saying it now. No,
Ballon d'Or winner.
But he is. I think his ceiling is like ridiculous. I think he's destined to be a top
he's elite
player.
standard, isn't he? I mean, he was doing it at Bohemian, and he's doing it again now. And Ben, I don't know what you think about him, mate, but as Maz says, we probably haven't had that lethalness in a player that sort of every time he comes forward, 9 times out of 10 you're going to back him to put it past the goalkeeper. And I don't think we've had that since probably Glenn Murray. I can't think of a more Glenn Murray player than Evan Ferguson. Am I right?
Yes, having the confidence in a player, like if he's 1-on-1 with a goalkeeper, and I'm confident he's going to bury it, and I haven't had that with a Brighton striker in a long time.
Yeah. He's more agile. He's like a more agile and better physique. Murray, like he's a better.
He's Murray with pace.
Yes, there you go. That's good. Yeah, there you go.
He's like a young Glenn Murray if Murray ever played at the top level when he was younger. Because I think I honestly believe, and I said this at the time back then, and I was just like, if Murray ever played in like a big academy back when he was younger, I genuinely believe he would have been an elite striker because you can't teach scoring goals. You've either got it or you don't. I think Murray had it, and if his name wasn't Glenn, he probably would have had half a chance of playing for Man United or something. I think that's just the standard
saucy
difference.
Name for him.
Yeah, and I think Murray would have genuinely been an elite level striker if he just played at a big club.
Marzinho.
Yeah, but Ferguson's fantastic. As I say, I keep going on. He is a teenager, and it is mad to
he's
see him.
so strong as well, though.
Strong,
that's
quick,
the beauty of him.
Yeah, and his passing range is really good. His hold-up play is good too.
That touch for the first goal, that first touch was just.
If Messi done it, we'd be talking about it for years.
The way he cushioned it down, and then the little turn, and
he's got his foot about 6 foot in the air, and he I don't even know how he got his foot that high. To be fair, it's fantastic play. But to also mention his second goal, which was set up by Dennis, by the way, shout out Dennis, good guy is Dennis, and he put through a ball, and again left foot this time smashed it, absolutely smashed it, nearly broke the net. Again, we haven't seen a player nearly break the net. I couldn't even tell you the last time that we've been so confident that we get a player run through on goal. And obviously, it comes on to a bit later in the game because I could just go over every single goal with this, but I feel like it's hard to analyse players like properly when we've just played the League Two side. But at the same time, Yassin Ayari obviously came on for his debut, and his almost second touch in his Brighton career was an overhead kick, and he was, I reckon, about 2 inches away from connecting with that. He was really close, and that would have been some finish. He was sort of backpedaling as well, but I thought he was really good. Joking aside, he gave me really bright signs of, and Roberto De Zerbi described him as a complete midfielder. It looks like, Ben, we could have a bit of another star on our hands. Do you think?
It wouldn't surprise me knowing the run that we've had with players, but it's very, very ballsy and confident to do that. Imagine that's like you've just been introduced to Brighton, your new club. And then you just go, fuck it, I'm just going to try to do a bicycle kick. But most people, even if it didn't pay off, it would look embarrassing. But for some reason it didn't. You're just like, fair play. He's got a bit of.
And he sort of like sprung back up, didn't he? So it wasn't like he just sort of laid on the floor.
Yeah,
he
just
sprung back
to
up
the ground.
agile. Yeah. You could tell he was.
No, he looked good.
He's an agile
he looked
player.
good. The glimpses that we saw of him, he looks promising. Yeah, for sure.
Agree.
And he's Swedish as well, which obviously, being Swedish myself.
Mud on Stelesi in Sweden.
Yeah, Svenska, up the Swedes, mate. No, just to add on to that, I think I just love the fact that pretty much anyone we sign at the moment, and it was funny because I think if we cast our minds back, 2-3 seasons ago, we were having the likes of we were signing like Lecadia and Elvis Manu, and players that just turned out players that just turned out to be massive flops, and it was just frustrating, wasn't it? Because we felt like our recruitment we were aimless, we didn't really have you know,
Any strategy.
Paul
no
Winstanley's
strategy.
the guy, mate. What do you mean? He is the master behind it all.
It was like we were throwing a dart at the map and just hoping we'd hit, you know.
Throwing shit at a wall until it sticks.
Yeah, and also we were going for a lot of Dutch players. Well, the Dutch league was like very much our focus. But now we've cast our net to the wider pool of European talent.
Yeah,
and I think it's great. So
not
big
even
shout
just
out
European as well. You know, we're looking in South America. We're looking in
South
Japan.
America, yeah.
You know, we've got a big range now. We've got one of the biggest scouting networks, you know, in the country, in the world. I just think that everything that this club is at the moment is so exciting. And I know we say it pretty much every single podcast, but I genuinely do think that we've got something really, really, really special going on. And there's something about this season. And I don't know, like, I know we've mentioned the championship vibes of like 16, 17, and I heard we were on our way back again, and I was a little bit like, oh my God, I've just been taken aback right there. And I don't know, it's just something about it. I don't know what you think, Ben, but like, there's something in the air. And, you know, Manchester United, it seems quite biblical. It comes back around 40 years after the FA Cup final. Now we've got them in the semis.
I was thinking that, yeah.
They're going to be a tired United team as well. They've got a very, very tough run in before they play us. And they're not even on their best form. They had a bit of a lethal streak, but anything can happen in the semi-final. I don't know. There's something about this season that says to me, I think we're going to do it. I don't know what you think.
I'm kind of confident that we'll do them in the semis for sure. Especially looking at the games that they got. I can't remember what the stat I saw. It was about 7 games in 20 days. Maybe that could be bullshit. It was something crazy basically. And then they've got Seville on the Thursday, which means they'll be. I think we're going to have our Saturday game, which is meant to be on the Saturday. The semi-final moved to the Sunday, which is a bit annoying because I have to book the Monday off work. But it is what it is. But yeah, they'll be tired. You'd expect they would be. And every single game, Ten Hag seems to be playing the same players, the same 11. So it doesn't really rotate either. Yeah, we've got an advantage there. The only difference is it's at Wembley, and our players aren't used to that, and their players have just done it and won a cup there not too long ago.
But also as well, Ben, let's be real. If anyone watched that Fulham game, Fulham, they threw the game away. They were totally
capitulated.
They were totally dominating that game. Yeah, and if they didn't get those 2 red cards, well, 3 red cards if you include Marco Silva, I think they would have gone and seen that game out. But then, arguably, I think we can beat both of those sides, like Fulham and Man United. I don't fear them.
We can.
I fear Fulham more because we've lost them twice already.
But mate, that game against Fulham,
I know
we obliterated them. We absolutely obliterated them. They did nothing. They had one chance, and it was one of those days. If you played that game 6 times again, we're going to win that every single time. Like there's no way that happens again. And Fulham on a pitch at Wembley, as you say, against the De Zerbi team, which is known for breaking the lines. The wider the pitch, the bigger the pitch, the better we are. Because I can't see that being an issue for us with De Zerbi in charge. Because we're too creative with enough space to be throwing away that sort of opportunity. And to be honest with you, the likes of Alex McAllister, I don't know if you saw, is wearing the same boots in the FA Cup as he wore for the World Cup final.
No way.
Which he wore against. Yeah. Maybe a bit of a superstitious thing there, but I'm just saying we've got a World Cup winner in our squad. You know what I mean?
That's a really good point. Ryan. Yeah, you need the players like McAllister who have done it on the big stage. Even like Welbeck, Lallana, all those players. Yeah, all those players that have done it on the big stage. That's when you were like, lads, this is when we need you now. Semi-final at Wembley.
Even just having Lallana in the dressing room is going to be huge for that. You know, 100%. just as someone that you can look at and like. You know, you've won a lot of stuff. You've been in big stadiums in your lifetime. To have someone there almost as a bit of a shadow.
At Wembley as well, Ryan.
Yeah,
he would have won two or three trophies there.
Yeah. So to be looking at him, you know, even in the dressing room is going to be huge. Danny Welbeck's obviously played for England in European championships, everything like that. You know, he's been there as much as people take the mick out of him. He has scored in very, very big games too. So having those players around is huge.
And even if you look at like, let's say, let's put them 3 at like the top, right? McAllister, Welbeck, Lallana, in terms of experience on the big stage, okay? Yeah. Let's put them on at the top. But then even if you go down, let's say the second tree of the triangle, like you got the likes of Caicedo, Matoma, Estepinian, Bobby Sanchez, like Veltman, all gone to the World Cup. So even playing at the World Cup's a massive, thing. It's not like we've got a squad of just, it's not just a squad of inexperienced players who've never played at a big tournament or a big stage. Do you know what I mean? So even if you look below the three at the top, it's still got a core group of experienced players there. So
Stupinian's been in a Champions League semi-final.
Exactly.
We've had, what's his name? Joel Veltman was in a Champions League semi-final. So we've had big players. We've had obviously Moises Caicedo's played, as you say rightly, in Ecuador. We've got a great team. Lewis Dunk, even if you wanted to include local experience, get into Wembley, captain the side through thick and thin. So, we've got a side that's capable, and this is what.
Sorry, speaking of this squad, comparing it to when we last went is just insane. The levels of where we are now. We've got.
This is
we started with Matty Ryan in goal, Martin Montoya at right back, Duncan Duffy at centre backs, Bernardo at left back, a midfield three of Basuma, Dale Stevens, and Davy Proper, Lockhart, Glenn Murray, and Jahan Bash.
And that Man
now
City
look where we are now. It's insane.
It wasn't even a million miles
Such a
away.
short space of time.
And that's
our
what
team
I
is
find
so
kind
much
of
stronger.
Yeah, we were better. We were the better team. Knockout was his dance floor out in Wembley that day. We were playing well. We could have beaten City that day. They weren't good. And
Carl Walker should have got sent
their
off.
own admission at the time.
Scumbag.
Cheated.
Graham Potter never took us to anywhere close to this. He never liked the FA Cup, so we'll never be able to tell if it was a Chris Hughton thing or if it was a Potter thing. But one thing can be sure is I don't think De Zerbi's going to be shy. People have even perhaps, I was telling this to Ben off air earlier when we were supposed to film this morning, which we didn't, that I think that a lot of our fans, I don't know if you guys agree, have kept up with the quick progress we've made in about 6 months of mentality shift, the way that De Zerbi is, how serious we are now, our players are serious. I think that, for example, how we were talking about Grimsby and people being a bit worried perhaps, I don't think people have quite caught up with the fact that we're serious now. We're not just little Brighton getting to Wembley. It's not
The plucky
like that
Brighton,
anymore.
what you
It's
said, wasn't it?
Brighton are getting to Wembley and we want to win it. We're not Brighton getting to Wembley and we'll take that. Anyway, I think that's pretty much everything from my head. Comments below, boys.
Comments below. The seagulls. Something about seagulls eating the fish or something.
That was it. The haddock got battered.
There you go.
Battered haddock, please.
Haddock got battered. Yeah, Haddock got battered.
Something along them lines. Our brains are gone. It's too late for this. Anyway, boys, thank you very much for joining us as always. Make sure you are liking, commenting, subscribing on YouTube and streaming on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everything else that we're pretty much on. We're pretty much on everything nowadays. So, make sure you're supporting, and we'll see you probably the end of this week, perhaps next week. But cheers, lads. Bye-bye.
Peace. In a bit.